You are 3,000 feet up a mountain. Your lungs are burning. Your muscles are screaming. But your mind is a singularity of focus. That focus is all that matters when the body begins to fail. You are a machine. A finely tuned engine running on pure discipline, adrenaline, and carb loading. You have the training, the gear, the knowledge to survive anything the high country can throw at you. You are, by all accounts, an endurance athlete. The strongest, most resilient people on the trail, but the wilderness has its own rules, and its patience is infinite. And the mountain, it sees you not as a competitor to be overcome, but as an object that can be simply swallowed and digested without a trace. An offering to the vast silence. In the summer of 2012, in Seward, Alaska, an event unfolded that remains one of the most profoundly chilling disappearances on record, specifically because of the victim's preparation. It centered on the iconic, brutal Mount Marathon race. A steep ascent, a treacherous descent over jagged rock and shale. This is not some remote, uncharted territory. It's a known course looming over a town full of people. The subject, Michael Lemaitre, a veteran Alaskan runner, disappearing in plain sight of a crowd of cheering spectators and medical staff. This is where the profile of the peak condition victim begins to emerge. Michael was last spotted near the summit, pushing through the intense fatigue and the encroaching fog. He was in the pain cave, a place only ultra runners truly know, focused only on the next step. Then, suddenly, the environmental conditions shifted. This is a critical profile point. We track bad weather following the disappearance. A dense, cold fog rolled in like a curtain. An immediate, localized phenomenon that dropped visibility to near zero. 2 other runners that day fell and were severely injured, requiring immediate extraction. They were found fractured but alive, calling for help. Michael, the one who didn't fall, was never heard from again, swallowed by the cloud. The injured were found within hours, their location pinpointed by their cries. Michael Lemaitre, a man focused entirely on his goal, simply vanished. An unsettling and complete efficiency that defies the natural chaos of a mountain fall. The immediate search was massive. Helicopters with infrared technology, dozens of mountain rescue specialists, hundreds of dedicated volunteers. They scoured every crevice, every rock face for weeks. Nothing. Most troubling of all, the K9 units. We have veteran bloodhounds brought in immediately. Yet they could not pick up a consistent scent trail of a man whose sweat and exertion should have left a massive cone of scent. This is another repeating element in these cases. The scent trail just ends abruptly on undisturbed forest dirt, as if the person suddenly stopped emitting scent or was lifted airborne. A runner in distress leaves a trail of disturbance. Broken branches, perhaps a discarded shoe or a torn piece of bright fabric. Michael left none of that. It's too neat, too clean, too absolute for a chaotic accident. We see this exact clean removal repeated thousands of miles away. In the intense tropical heat of Malaysia. The case of Mohammed Ashraf Hassan, known locally as Akap, a highly fit 9-year-old ultra trail runner in the Gopeng Ultra Trail race in 2019. He was last seen at a checkpoint. Just 20 kilometers into a demanding, humid race, the logic of his training demanded he be found. His disappearance triggers the same impossible questions. A man with immense stamina and mental fortitude, gone from a clearly marked route, right beside a major road and village system. The issue is his complete absence. The search operation was one of the largest in Malaysian history, scouring the thick, relentless jungle near the famous Gua Temperung cave system. Searchers walked, crawled, and rappelled for weeks, expecting to find something. They found only one single item, ACAP's plastic water bottle, abandoned beside a race trail marker. Not his high visibility vest, not his expensive trail shoes. Just the one life-sustaining piece of gear. Why? Why would a highly trained athlete, likely suffering from heat exhaustion or dehydration, abandon the one thing, the water that could save him, and leave everything else essential on his body? It's an inexplicable act that violates all survival logic. The single item left behind, a small, pathetic plastic clue in a massive, silent, unforgiving jungle. It is a symbol of a search that found everything but the victim. These are not simply cases of hikers who wandered off trail. These are people who trained for years to operate under extreme physical and psychological duress. They are masters of navigation and endurance. Yes, their minds can be running on fumes. This leads to what we call running while delusional, where they experience hallucinations and can step off the trail without realizing it. But even if they walk off, that doesn't explain the absolute lack of physical evidence, especially when they are wearing high-contrast gear. Nature is messy. An accident leaves a visible scar on the environment. When you find nothing, when the entire body of evidence is a single discarded bottle or a fading memory, the story shifts from a conventional mountain accident to something far more deliberate, an act of systematic removal. We have to look at what operates outside of our standard understanding of a search and rescue protocol. We must accept that conventional science cannot explain these consistent, baffling facts. For these specific cases, involving athletes on high mountains and remote, ancient trails, the data points to a chilling, yet consistent theory. Dimensional portals, areas that are momentarily unstable, waiting for the right vibration. I'm stating the facts as they are found. The runner is in a state of hypoxia-induced delirium. Their tunnel vision, their intense focus on the rhythm of their feet, makes them oblivious to any fleeting visual abnormality. If there is a sudden, localized energy shift, a tear in the dimensional fabric that is momentary and geographical, a door in the mountain, opened and closed in a fraction of a second, just as they pass, the athlete is simply moving too fast, too deliberately, too focused on their internal map, and they run straight through it. The portal opens, the runner passes through, and the door slams shut. This explains the immediate silence. There is no scream, no call for help. It explains the zero trace evidence because the runner isn't in the woods anymore. They are simply somewhere else entirely. The scent trail simply ends at an arbitrary point where the ground is still and untouched. The K9 cannot track a victim who has been removed from this plane of existence. There is an unseen predator at work in these clusters. And it appears to be highly selective, targeting those who are operating on the edge of the known world. The official sources, they simply won't address this data. The wilderness respects your strength, endurance athletes, but it will not, under any circumstances, forgive your curiosity or your distraction in these specific areas. Always carry redundant communication. Always tell people your exact route, and understand that in some places, in some specific geographic clusters, the rules of physical reality appear to change without warning. The silence they left behind for Michael Lemaitre, for ACAP, and for all the others, that silence is the loudest and most damning evidence of all. It demands a different answer. Be careful out there. We'll keep searching for the truth that the Park Service won't tell you, and we will keep compiling the data. The investigation continues,